Lesson 6.6, Conditions of Special Parallelograms. This is a very unique lesson because this lesson takes everything we've been learning about parallelograms, all of topic 6, and then using the converse of those rules or reversing them. So instead of saying something like, is a rhombus, then it has these properties, it's going to give us properties and we have to determine it's a rhombus or a square or a rectangle. So it says the sides of a lantern are identical quadrilaterals. So each of the sides, 4 sides, they're all the same. How could you check to see whether a side is a parallelogram? So think of the properties of parallelograms and write those things down. What would you be checking? Does the side appear to be a rectangle? How could you check it? So then you have to think of properties of a rectangle to determine what it might be. Do you think the diagonals of a quadrilateral can be used to determine whether the quadrilateral is a rectangle? How can you test this? So you go ahead and test this. If it were me and my students, we would do this in a live classroom, maybe not online. So I'm not going to have my students do this, so you can talk to your teacher. But do you think the diagonals have anything to do to prove or to show that it's a rectangle? Information about diagonals can help classify the parallelograms. In this parallelogram, AC is perpendicular to BD. So we have this 90 degree, which means all of these angles around E are 90. What else can you conclude about this parallelogram? Well, think of parallelograms, and I'm going to walk us through this. These solutions are amazing. So the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other, which they do. I've got these tick marks. Any angle at E is 90, and it's vertical angles, so like across, it would be the same. So all 4 angles are right angles. The 4 triangles are congruent by side, angle, side. And so it says, since ABCD is a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides, then it is a rhombus. So all of the properties we've been going over for lessons and lessons all come to this 6.6. If these angles are complementary, so let's mark them up. JHK, this angle right here, and JGK right here are complementary. What else can we conclude? So first of all, you have to know what complementary is. Complementary means that the angles add up to 90 degrees. So those add up to 90. But think, these marks are already here, these the arrowheads, so it's telling that those sides are parallel. So if I had this angle and I had this angle right here, those are alternate interior angles. So those would for sure be the same or congruent. And then this bottom angle that has the 2 tick marks, this top angle over here on the right would also have the 2 tick marks because those are alternate interior angles. But then you look at these triangles. So I'm going to switch colors. This triangle right here and the same one down here. Notice they have the same angles. But if these 2 angles add up to 90, this right here and this right here, if those add up to 90 and it's a triangle, then this other angle has to be 90. Because if the 2 smaller angles add up to 90, that other angle of this triangle has to be a 90-degree angle, which is a right triangle. So what else can we conclude? It's a parallelogram. The diagonals intersect at a 90-degree angle. This is for sure a rhombus. Converse. Remember, converse is switching the order. So if then, it's if then. So just changing the hypothesis and the conclusion. So if the diagonals of a parallelogram are perpendicular, then it has to be a rhombus, just like that example we just went over. So if it's a parallelogram and the diagonals are perpendicular, it will always be a rhombus. Here's another converse. If diagonals of a parallelogram bisect 2 angles, so these angles are bisected, and the 2 angles of the parallelogram are bisected, then the parallelogram is a rhombus. So if 2 angles are bisected, like across from each other, for example, then those show that it is a rhombus. So here is a little proof. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but I think you should. You're proving that it's a rhombus, and it talks about side congruence. It gives you the tick marks. It talks about the triangles being congruent by angle, side, angle, angle, side, angle. And then it has the angle congruence. And if you notice, alternate interior angles. because these are parallel lines, the parallel, and they're cut by a transversal. So not only does it use triangle rules, it uses the parallel line rules like alternate interior. And then by converse of isosceles triangle, because it's an isosceles triangle, which creates two base angles that are the same, it's using all these rules just to prove that this is indeed a rhombus. And the conclusion is that it is. So by the transitive property, go through this, and it's kind of like a step-by-step proof. It is very helpful to kind of see the big picture as to why, if the diagonals bisect each other, why it would be a rhombus. Refer to this figure using properties of parallelograms to show that if angle 1 is congruent to 2 and 3 is congruent to 4, then the 4 angles are congruent. So again, use these parallel lines, and 3 and 2 would be alternate interior. So instead of having a single mark and a double mark, those should both be the same markings. And then 1 and 4 are also alternate interior angles. So we're going to use those properties, parallelogram, and you can say that if 1 is congruent to 4 and 3 is congruent to 2, then they should all be congruent to each other because 1 and 2 are the same. That's kind of using the transitive property in a roundabout way. Ashton measures the diagonals of his deck frame and finds that they are congruent. So the diagonals are congruent. Will the deck be a rectangle? Well, if the diagonals are congruent, does it show that for sure a four-sided figure is a rectangle? Not only with that statement, you also need to know that, look, opposite sides are congruent. And if both sets of opposite sides are congruent, then it would be a parallelogram. So if it's a parallelogram, which it is because it shows us those opposite sides are congruent, and the diagonals are congruent, then yes, it is a rectangle. If the diagonals of any quadrilateral are congruent, is the quadrilateral a rectangle? Well, that kind of has to do with what I just said. So if the diagonals are congruent on a four-sided figure, it could be a rectangle, but you have to also show that it's a parallelogram. So just because there's four sides with diagonals congruent does not mean it's a rectangle unless it's also a parallelogram. Here's another theorem, converse again. So it says if the diagonals of a parallelogram are congruent, then it's a rectangle. So again, it has to be a parallelogram, and if the diagonals are congruent, then it is a rectangle. But make sure you prove or show that it's a parallelogram first. So can you conclude whether the parallelogram is a rhombus, a square, or a rectangle? So you're going to have to think of all the properties. Now, first of all, it is a parallelogram. So BC is parallel to AD, AB is parallel to DC. So opposite sides are parallel. And think about it, if opposite sides are parallel, then you have those alternate interior angles that would be congruent. And you have these two sides are the same, which means you have triangles that are congruent by side, angle, side. So I'm showing you the results, and it says by side, angle, side, which I just mentioned. The triangles are congruent. So by CP-CTC, corresponding parts of congruent triangles, they would be congruent. So this parallelogram is indeed a rhombus. So in this problem, I actually already opened the solution for you. It says, can you conclude whether the parallelogram is a rhombus, square, or rectangle? So it is a parallelogram. And notice the diagonals are bisecting each other, and those tick marks say that they're all congruent. So diagonals are congruent, which means it's a rectangle. The diagonals are intersecting at a 90-degree angle, which means it's a rhombus. So if you have a rectangle and a rhombus, that's actually a square. And so how could you justify it? It says it right here, and it is in fact a square. Is the parallelogram a rhombus, square, or rectangle? Explain. So you have diagonals, and it is a parallelogram. So we know the diagonals will bisect each other. And if the diagonals bisect each other, but there are two tick marks, that means if there's a tick mark here, there's going to be a tick mark over here and here, which means the diagonals are congruent, which means since it's a parallelogram and diagonals are congruent, it's a rectangle. Try it number 4B. It says, is the parallelogram a rhombus, square, or rectangle? So again, parallelogram for sure. But notice those angles that are bisected. These are two congruent angles, and then they have another congruent angle, which means this is congruent. So you have four or opposite angles congruent and bisected. That is for sure a rhombus. Now we get into the math part. Quadrilateral STUV is a rhombus. So think of all the rules that we just went over. If it's a rhombus, the opposite angles are bisected. So then you're going to actually have to do some algebra to solve this. So I would set these two equal to each other to solve for y, and set these two equal to each other to solve for x. So I'm just going to set it up for you, and I'm going to have you solve it. So 65 minus y equals 5y plus 5. Then you would solve for y. To solve for x, I would have 4x plus 3 equals 5x minus 10. Solve for x. And remember, you can always check your solution here. This problem says a parallelogram ABCD has AC. Notice the letters. AC, that means it goes from A to C. Those are diagonals. So before we get any further into this problem, let's draw it out just so you can kind of see it. And all we know is it's a parallelogram. We don't know if it's a square, rectangle, rhombus. We don't know anything. But we do know we have A, B, C, D. AC is 3W minus 1. And I'm going to switch colors. BD is 2 times the quantity, W plus 6. What must be true to make it a rectangle? Well, if it's a parallelogram, to be a rectangle, it has to have diagonals that are the same. So let's set them equal to each other. So they have to be congruent. 3W minus 1 equals 2 times the quantity, W plus 6. So it says what must be true? Well, we would have to find W. Find W, and that W would have to be the answer to make it a rectangle. So I would distribute this 2. So I have 3W minus 1 equals 2W plus 12. And you can keep going from here. I'm going to subtract the 2W. So I have 1W, and you don't have to put the 1, but I'm just going to put kind of like an invisible 1. 1W minus 1 equals 12. Add the 1 to both sides, so W equals 13. And when I get that 13, that means what must be true? W has to be 13 to make it a rectangle. A group of friends set up a kickball field with bases 60 feet apart. How can you verify that this field is a square? So think about squares. First of all, you have all 4 sides congruent. So that's great. Opposite sides are congruent, which means it's a parallelogram because they're congruent opposite sides. So all sides are congruent, so it's a parallelogram. It's a rhombus. Opposite sides are congruent, so the field is a parallelogram. So it tells you all those things. But how do we show that it's a square? So all sides are congruent. It is a parallelogram. If we deal with the diagonals, then we can prove that it's a rectangle. But a rectangle that is also a rhombus is always a square. So what we would have to do is measure from like first to third base and home plate to second base and see if those diagonals are congruent. And if they are, then we're good. And it would definitely be a square. Is this a rhombus? So think about it. Think of all the different things. We don't even know if it's a parallelogram. We don't know anything. We do know that the diagonals are bisected, but we're not sure if they're congruent. But we do know these measurements. So first of all, if it is a rhombus, this angle right here, each of these would have to be 90. I don't know if they are, but I do know that, 32 plus 58, and we'll just call it x, plus x, does that equal 180? If it does, then I can say, yep, it is a rhombus for sure, because diagonals bisect each other, and it would be intersecting at a 90-degree angle, or would be perpendicular. I could say, yes, it does work. But if I can't show that x equals 90, then it won't work. So add these up, subtract on both sides, and see, does x for sure equal 90? And if it does, then yes, it's a rhombus. And if it doesn't, then for sure it is not a rhombus. Here is the big picture of this whole lesson. Rhombus. A parallelogram is a rhombus if diagonals are perpendicular and the diagonals bisect the angles. Okay, a parallelogram is a rectangle if the diagonals are congruent. The whole diagonals have to be congruent. And a parallelogram is a square if both of those things are true. It's a rectangle and a rhombus, which means diagonals are perpendicular and congruent, and the diagonals bisect the angles, and the diagonals are congruent. So if it's a square, all the properties of rhombus and rectangle have to be true. I hope this helps.